Hi, nice to meet you and welcome. Today we are going to talk about the missing case of Miss Jin Fang. For her family, September 21st is supposed to be a day of celebration, but this year they have to face a series of unanswered questions. Where is Miss Jin and what happened to her after flying from China to the US to visit a man that she met online? I am your host Jax and this is Crime Locker. 47-year-old Jin Fang is an experienced traveler. She has been to many places in Asia and Europe by herself and used to run her own Airbnb business in Europe. During the pandemic, she returned to China to spend more time with her family in Guangdong province. With the lifting of travel restrictions this year, she is eager to resume her world journey, and this time is to America, a place she has never been to before. Part of the reason is she met a man named John Fitzpatrick through the internet. They seem to be getting along well during their 6 months conversation. John is a US veteran from the Morongo Valley area. He volunteers to be her guide. But before the travel, she is still a little bit concerned about meeting her online friend in another country. She asks John to provide her with several photos and credentials to verify his identity, to which John complies. Up to this point, everything seems to be fine. Finally, on July 14th, after almost 3 years, Miss Jin leaves China and arrives at the Los Angeles airport after a 12-hour flight. She first takes a short rest in LA and then takes a train to the Palm Springs area on July 15th, where she meets with John at the train station. He offers to take her on a tour of the Morongo Basin area. They go on to camp together in Joshua Tree National Park. It seems to be a joyful trip for Jin as she takes many pictures with John and sends them to her family and friends back in China in order to assure them that she is safe and happy. She also continues to post on her Chinese social media, something she enjoys while traveling. So, when her post abruptly stopped after 10 p.m. on July 21st, California time, her family immediately feels something bad might happen to her. Her last post states that they are leaving the Joshua Tree area to camp in a small town in the desert. Since then, there has been no contact from Jin, and all attempts by her family and friends to reach her have failed. Jin's missing person report was filed with the sheriff's office on July 26th after her cell went out of service. Although no one has heard from Jin since July 21st, John's blue Toyota was caught on camera in the thermal area on July 22nd, and his cell was tracked in Julian on July 24th. Law enforcement has been unable to trace him or his truck after that, and he then was reported missing by his friend on July 30th. Here is the 11-second clip by Jin and shared by her family. People familiar with the area point out that the location of the clip is in the 29 Palms area. So I did some research myself, and I'm confident to say that Jin and John are indeed in that area, driving north away from the Joshua Tree National Park. Here are some signs that can be seen in the video. They are driving on the Adobe Road. At the beginning, you can see there is a pole in the bottom right, at the intersection of White Sands Drive. A few seconds later, they drive past the second pole at the intersection of Desert Dunes Drive. Their last location seems to be near the Palms Baptist Church. However, from John's activity, it is clear that he is heading south or southwest toward Thermal then Julian, which is not the direction that in Jin's video. Also, I think it is unlikely that they would drive 3 hours to camp in Julian. Some people think they might have some accidents that make them unable to contact people, but considering that John is a retired Navy SEAL, it seems almost impossible to me that he would get into some serious accidents near the place he knows so well. No matter what happens, the key is to find John at his truck and hopefully to finally find the whereabouts of Miss Jin Fang. At the moment, the sheriff's office claimed that The disappearances of Jin and John are connected. They are considered to be voluntarily missing. Thus, no criminal investigation is being conducted. Jin's family strongly disagrees with the idea of voluntarily missing and fears that Jin may be in danger. Jin's family says that they have been contacted by someone who claims to be John's friend, but this person not only fails to provide them with any useful information, but also tries to ask for details of their searches and hinders the investigation. It makes them more worried about the possibility that John may harm Jin with the help of an accomplice. Jin's daughter is unable to fly to the US because the police do not consider it as an urgent case. Although the case has been reported by several media, the tension is surely fading by now. That is why I want to do this episode and to raise some awareness for Jin and her family. Here is some extra information about this case that I want to share with you. First, Jin's daughter clearly states that Jin is currently not in any romantic relationship with John and has already booked a return flight to China in October. She has no intention or reason to stay in the United States illegally on purpose. Some people argue that it is not normal for a woman to fly alone to another country unless she is in some kind of relationship. But bear this in mind, Jin used to run her own tourist and Airbnb business from her post under the nickname Yama. It is clear that she has a lot of friends who come from different countries. Jin would meet them at the airport and they would continue to do tourist activities together. It is possible that Jin thinks that her trip this time is similar to the ones she had before, so she is not overly worried about meeting John alone in America. Second, according to her family's poster, Jin is about 158 centimeters tall and is actually around 5 feet 2 inches, not 5'4" as some posters claim. There have also been discussions about why Jin did not see John's troubled past. Records show that John pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault in December 2020. He was also charged with probation violations and was placed in Veterans Treatment Court. As mentioned above, Jin did some background checks on John before coming to the US. However, sometimes it is rather difficult for individuals outside of America to access some official websites of such information due to security measures, even with the help of a VPN service. On July 15th, the day he is supposed to meet with Jin, John posts on Facebook about not regretting a day in his life. I wonder if it has some deeper meaning to it. There are a few key questions that need to be answered about this case. Was John alone when he was captured by the camera in thermal? Where is the last location where Jin's cell pinned? What is John's financial condition? Jin's family mentioned that Jin had a few $1,000s in cash upon arrival. If something bad indeed happened to Jin, could money be a motive? This is pretty much all I gathered about this case. Please leave comments below and tell me what you think about this case. The case is still open, so if you have any information regarding the missing case of Jin or John, please contact the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department at 909-387-8313 or 760-366-4175. This is Crime Locker and hope to see you in the next episode.